Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe extends public submissions deadline for the mining charter as the two-day summit comes to a close. 4 of the 12 boys trapped in a cave in Thailand for 16 days have been rescued. Very good evening. This is eNews at 7. I'm Tony Ndoro. Now, the two-day mining charter summit is drawn to a close, with the Mineral Resources Minister hopeful his department can finalize the document by November at the latest. Gwede Mantashe gave the closing address at the event, which brought together different mining industry views under one roof. The submissions will inform the final charter. Our reporter Michael Apple was there.
The two-day mining charter summit closed with the Mineral Resources Minister making an important announcement that pushes the deadline for submissions on the document to the end of August.
We've extended the time for public comments by a month. The reason for that is that stakeholders were requesting, please give us another month. We want to apply our minds to this. We've agreed readily to that.
On Saturday, one economist argued that so much of what the draft charter was trying to achieve in its current form was needlessly reinventing definitions for principles already well understood.
Do not unnecessarily introduce confusing new terminology and concepts for issues that are already addressed in the B codes. Trickle dividends, what the hell is that? I do not know how that is going to work. I think we must go back to the drawing board and use the guidelines that I've given you to develop a new charter. This current charter, as it is, it won't pass the muster of a proper charter according to the B codes.
The minister appears to agree that the charter in its final form will have to meet the already existing black economic empowerment codes.
We'll take it to the cabinet because the cabinet is the final arbiter. We're going to look into areas of how do we align the charter to the BE codes. All those things are going to happen parallel, but our view is that by October, November, we must have a charter in place.
The mining charter is the roadmap for meaningfully transforming the industry. Once it's implemented, investors will have greater policy certainty, which should in turn lead to capital flowing into a sector which the department says still holds 30 trillion rands worth in unmined minerals. Michael Apple, Johannesburg.
VBS Bank curator Sizwen Saluba Gobodo wants Vele Investments liquidated. The organization also wants the assets of 5 of its former top officials sold off to recover debt. Vele Investments is the majority owner of the embattled VBS Mutual Bank. Mismanagement allegations saw the bank being put under administration earlier this year. But customers were thrown a lifeline after the Reserve Bank secured a guarantee from National Treasury. They'll now be able to access up to 100,000 rand each. The bank is also being probed for fraud, among other irregularities. Police are probing the discovery of multiple explosive devices at Woolworths stores in Durban shopping centres. A third device was discovered in as many days. Terrorism researcher Jasmine Opperman says authorities mustn't jump to conclusions.
This is the lesson we have to learn from the mosque incidents, is not to be alarmist from the police side and from the Hawk side, whoever investigates, to stay calm and to inform the public on a factual basis, on actual findings as they proceed with the investigation. From Woolworths side, and I would go further than that, I would argue for all chain stores, the message is clear. We need improved security measures. And that does not mean it has to relate to terrorism. Please, I'm not confining this to terrorism. But at the end of the day, the greatest asset will be the supporters and the shoppers. So these people have to be protected. They will have to revisit and make sure that security companies, security footage and cameras are in place to support any future incidents similar to this.
Former President Jacob Zuma's son is expected to appear in the Johannesburg Specialized Commercial Crime Court tomorrow. This is the first time a high-ranking individual could face the music for their alleged links to state capture. It's been reported that Duduzane Zuma faces a charge of corruption, but the Hawks are yet to confirm this. The matter is reportedly linked to the then Deputy Finance Minister Mcebisi Jonas. In 2015, Jonas claimed he was offered the position of Finance Minister during a meeting with Duduzane Zuma, businessmen Fana Hlongwane and Ajay Gupta. Jonas claims he was offered 600 million rand at that meeting, which took place at the Gupta's Saxon World compound. He was briefly detained upon arrival at Johannesburg International Airport this week. Stellenbosch University has joined in the fight to force government to drop tax on female sanitary products. Its law clinic has written submissions to National Treasury requesting that feminine hygiene products be included on the list of zero-rated VAT items. Our reporter Arti Nasi has more.
The price of dignity is too costly. That's according to Stellenbosch University's law clinic, which is joining the fight against the high cost of sanitary products.
Tampon tax is commonly referred to as period poverty due to the cost of sanitary female products. We have had a movement in South Africa since 2011, when our former President Jacob Zuma promised to implement 0% VAT on female hygiene products. Unfortunately, very little has been done since 2011 to remove VAT on female sanitary products.
Research conducted by the clinic highlights the financial burden women face.
I became aware that certain of my clients weren't able to come to consultations due to them not having funds to buy sanitary products. We started discussing this matter at the clinic and started to investigate if there are grounds for impact litigation. More than 15.5% of South African women earn less than 800 rands a month, which means that sanitary products are unaffordable to them. When it comes to younger female school students that are out of school for more than 90 days a year, their right to education is being infringed upon.
The clinic says it's willing to offer authorities more information if required.
We have made submissions to National Treasury and we will be watching the panel to hear from them if they need further information from us or if they have accepted our submissions or dismissed our submissions. If our submissions are dismissed, we will proceed to court with impact litigation.
Arti Nasi, Stellenbosch.
Coming up after this short break, emotions were high at OR Tambo International Airport last night as over 250 medical students returned home after spending 5 years studying in Cuba. A second group of local medical students studying in Cuba are due home this week. Over 700 South Africans have been studying medicine in Cuba since 2012. They'll be returning to South Africa on chartered flights this month. The first group landed at OR Tambo International Airport on Saturday evening. The program was launched in the 90s and is named after Nelson Mandela and Fidel Castro. Here's reporter Erin Bates with more.
Family and friends have travelled from as far as the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal. Others from nearby. Peter Morema lives in Tembisa, Gauteng, and is here to meet his son.
Your son soon to be the doctor.
He's going to be a doctor now for South Africa. Yes. I'm very happy.
Family and friends gather with growing anticipation at the International Arrivals Lounge.
And this is the moment. They have arrived.
Then, over 250 students appear with large bags, smiles and tears. Next, the group moves to a hangar for a welcome event. It's led by the Health Minister and Cuba's ambassador to South Africa.
The cooperation between our two countries is for the benefit of our peoples. It is not for the enrichment of individuals.
Health Minister Aaron Motsoaledi says the Cuban-trained doctors will be the foot soldiers of the National Health Insurance Initiative. They didn't just gain training in preventative medicine, they hablas español too.
Si no vives para servir, no sirves para vivir. It means if you don't live to serve, you don't deserve to live. So we were taught to serve our people.
Cuban cuisine took some adjusting to, along with studying medicine in Spanish.
Just the thought of just being here and actually just eating South African food and seeing the people and the language really just, it brings so much joy.
Braai nie gewoonlik hier, so dink dit was 'n aanpassing vir my gewees. Middagete elke dag is dieselfde soort kos.
For those who missed South African beef, it was on the menu at the welcome event. After completing their studies, the students will undergo a year's final training and then an internship in public health. Around 700 new students are expected to join the program in Cuba next year. Erin Bates, Johannesburg.
The first 4 boys who've been rescued from a cave in Thailand have been rushed to hospital. They were pulled out from the cave during a dangerous mission to rescue the 12 boys and their coach, which began in the early hours of this morning. The boys went missing on the 23rd of June. They had been exploring the cave complex with their 25-year-old coach. Now, reporter Arti Nasi spoke to a local diver about how the rescue mission might be carried out.
Time is running out for the group of 12 young soccer team members and their coach. Rescue workers say they must act quickly before more heavy rains hit the region. They're planning to make use of a buddy dive system where experienced divers assist less experienced ones. One diver cautions it's the most dangerous form of scuba diving.
To reach the point of cave diving, you first have to go through your normal set of recreational courses, which would, if you're doing it every weekend, it would take you a good 6 months just to reach that point where you can sign up to start cave diving. Technical diving is all about foreseeing problems and solving them. So this is just sort of like, an addition to a dive plan, a really intense addition. We have to make all these situations into a sort of stop, think and act type of thing. So it's all about, this is the problem, how do we solve it? I'm sure that's all they're thinking.
He says the mission would need intense planning.
When you get to a point where you just have to do that one maneuver, not only did those guys have to do a jump like that, they had to do a second one. And there's a section where you have to hike, where you have to climb down into the cave. So just the terrain these guys have to go through is something, like I said, we'd have to plan over weeks.
Meanwhile, monks in the area are praying for the safe return of the group. Arti Nasi, Simonstown.
While it looks like South Africans are not the only ones suffering from the negative effects of fuel price hikes. In Haiti, angry vigilantes have burned cars in protest after the announcement of a petrol price increase. A number of people have died and businesses have been looted. Banks have been forced to close early and public buses stopped running as a precaution. The Dominican Republic has since recalled its diplomats in the country. The Haitian government announced gas prices would go up steeply. This after the International Monetary Fund reduced fuel subsidies as part of austerity measures. Here's a reminder of your main stories tonight. Mineral Resources Minister Gwede Mantashe extends public submissions deadline for the mining charter as the 2-day summit comes to a close. 4 of the 12 boys trapped in a cave in Thailand for 16 days have been rescued. Well, it's been yet another jam-packed week for the stars. Here's Lindy Wesitola with a wrap of the week's entertainment news.
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are redefining marriage rules. This is what I mean.
The pair have been together for 20 years, and considering our country's high divorce rate, maybe we can learn a thing or two from them. First of all, they have made it clear that they have no time to pretend to be the perfect couple. Will says they no longer refer to themselves as married. Instead, they call themselves life partners. They give each other space to be individuals. And the best lesson of all, no matter what people say about them, no matter what they go through, they will never let that break their relationship. I hope you took notes.
It's been 2 years since Karisa Guguzulu passed away while summiting Mount Kilimanjaro. His wife Lecheko has found a special way of honoring his memory.
She'll be heading back to Tanzania for the annual Trek for Mandela expedition and will plant trees in his honor on the mountain slopes. Lecheko says she wants this to be a living legacy of all the hope and love he brought to those who knew him.
This is such a positive story. Journalist and broadcaster Xolani Gwala is healing. After his 10-month fight with colon cancer, he is now in remission. His wife, Peggy Sue Kumalo, says his surgery last month was a success. She thanked his medical team, fans, family and friends for their support through his journey. Radio station 702 says it's looking forward to welcoming him back after his recovery. Olympic medalist Cameron van der Berg is officially off the market. He got married in Greece. Take a look at these stunning pictures. And that's it for this week. Till next time.
That's it from myself and the eNews team. Have a fantastic evening.